welcome to another episode of Tea and Whiskey with myself, Caroline Pearce, joined by my co-host and legend, the man Don Frye, and UFC middleweight, Sean Strickland.
Let's fucking go. Oh, I can't cuss, you guys. Well, you're going to have all the bleeps.
Let's start again. Welcome to the show. How you
guys?
doing?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Really good. So this is Tea and Whiskey. Don's glass is empty, but what's your drink of choice?
I don't drink. Are you kidding me, you guys? Fucking A, man. If I drink, no, I'm going to start hating on.
We'll be in trouble.
I'll start hating on you the whole time, start trying to look down your shirt. The best thing that happens is don't let me fucking drink.
All right, okay. Water for this man.
Might get bitten obnoxious then, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to get super I'm going to try to fight Don Frye. He's going to start calling me a pussy. It's going to be fun.
Look, I said to Don, I said, have you met Sean before? He said, no. I said, you guys are going to be like two peas in a pod.
Oh, man. You're a fucking legend, bro. Fucking legend.
Look, I want to congratulate you on your last fight, of course, that second round, TKO against Abus Magomedov. How's the body feeling? Got out of there in 2 rounds? You feeling like you could go again?
Yeah, I'm solid. You know, I was back training Monday. Body's right as rain. Not too much damage, you know. So fucking life is good, man.
All right.
I'm happy I didn't got to fight another guy that night, but you know, life was good.
I know. What do you think of what Don had to do back in his day? Like one after the other.
What you saying about Izzy do wearing makeup, jerking off his dog, you know, swearing allegiance to China?
Yeah.
This man fucking gets it. You know, he gets it.
There we go. The mutual respect is here. But look, I'm sure you're going to have a keen eye tonight on Robert Whittaker and Dricus du Plessis. First of all, how do you see that one going down between the two of them?
I think Whittaker, you know, again, every dog has his day. When you're talking about fighting in 4-ounce gloves, shit happens. But I think Whittaker fucking puts it on him. Yeah.
And of course, the champion, Israel Adesanya, is quite likely going to want to be on that Sydney card in September. And it's a case of, well, who's next for him? It could be Rob in Sydney. If he wins, maybe Dricus. There's a storyline there. But if it's too quick a turnaround for them, you've put yourself in a really good spot for that shot.
No, fucking, I would love to fight the Chinese champion. That'd be awesome, you guys. Fucking try to bring the belt back to America, you know?
Is that important to you, though? Do you think, you know, in terms of that national pride, you're fighting as much to bring that belt back to America as you are for yourself?
You know, man, like, America's in a sad state, but I love representing, you know, American fans, and I would love to bring a belt back to America. Will I do it? I don't fucking know. Izzy can fucking fight, but am I gonna fucking try? Hell yes, I am. I'm gonna try to, you know, fucking. It'll be great. It'll be a good time. He's gonna go back home and jerk off his dog after I'm done with him. You ever see that video? Don't watch that. It might be illegal. I don't even know how that's on YouTube, you guys. Don't Google Izzy and his dog. It's all weird.
Moving on. But talking of Israel,
this is why they don't let me come to these things.
I know. I said, why are you doing this to me? Putting me on stage? No, I'm joking. But you know, I know you're very proud of you with being American and what you fight for. But in terms of if you get that opportunity to fight Izzy, whether it's, you know, coming up in September or down the line, I mean, as the champion, you've probably watched and seen all of his fights. In your mind, how do you get it done and do what no one else other than Alex Pereira's been able to do?
You know, I mean, I think it's a good fight, man. I watched Kelvin to do him. Kelvin Gastelum fucking put him on, you know. Kelvin's fat and out of shape, and he put it on him. So I think, you know, I just got to replicate that and just fucking, you know, dick to dick, nose to nose, hands up, and just make it a good fight. And I think that does it.
What do you think? Have you watched any of this man's tape?
Yeah, I like his style.
I fight like an idiot. All I do is I walk forward and see what happens. Sometimes I win, sometimes I wake up. You know, we'll find out what happens. That's all you can do. This man knows.
Way to fight.
Yeah.
Obviously, another interesting fight coming up is that between Alex Pereira, who obviously you know very well, moving up to light heavyweight to fight Jan Blachowicz. I mean, how do you see Pereira faring at 205?
You know, Pereira's one of the best kickboxers in the world. He has the ability to. It just comes down to how much time do you have to learn to wrestle? Because we all know he's going to try to take him down. So Alex has all the tools. He has Glover. He has a great camp, you know. He is a great black belt coach. He has all the tools to get the tools necessary to do it. So now it just comes down to doing it, you know.
Yeah. I think it would have been interesting had Alex not have moved up yet and stayed. I think there was a case for another fight with Izzy, obviously, one-on-one in UFC.
He cut so much weight for that fight. You see him before weigh-ins, man, he looks half dead. It just, the level of misery that man went through to make middleweight, you know, I understand why.
All right, well, let's have a little look ahead to tonight's card as well. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Main event, Volkanovski, Rodriguez for that featherweight title. Alex making his 5th title defense. And I spoke to Alex yesterday, and he said, it's been all respect and nice, but that all changes tomorrow, as in tonight.
You know, he does have that. He does have a little hardness to him, you know, where like I mean, that's like that Eastern European where the fuck he's from kind of hardness. You know, that's a hard thing to beat. You know.
Who are you talking about, Volk?
Volk, yeah, Volk. I mean, that's like a.
He's not Eastern European.
I don't know
though.
what the fuck. What is he from Australia?
Yeah.
Man, the fucking A guy. I didn't know the guy speaks English. Whatever, man. He's a tough motherfucker.
Yeah.
Dude. Listen, if you're not from America, do you really matter, right? I mean, come on
Do I
now.
not matter?
I mean, you matter, but you're also hot, so things are different, right?
That's it.
I'm a 1099
She gets a
employee.
pass. She gets a hot pass.
Yeah, she gets a hot pass. I'm a 1099 employee. There's no sexual harassment with this fucking guy. But now Volk is the man, dude. He fucking fights hard, so I think that grittiness is gonna really play off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Don, what's that point for you when that switch flips? And you know, whatever the talk or build-up's been, but you know, then it's time to go. What's that moment?
My buddy Jeff said it happened about halfway across the ocean. You know, I would go from just being, you know, regular Don Frye to being the fighter Don Frye. Yeah. So somewhere across that international line.
On the way to Japan.
Yeah, on the way to Japan.
But you know, like you watch Volk fight, man, that man's ready to die in the ring, and you can see the intensity and anger, and like he's ready to die for what he fucking wants, and that's a hard thing to fight. That's a hard thing to fight. So, you know, I don't really care who wins. You know, they're too small for me to care about, but fucking I think Volk pulls it off, you know. You generally if you're this big and you can't knock me out, I don't really give a fuck. But I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think Volk pulls it off.
All right. Would you like to see him challenge again for the lightweight title if he gets past? Well, it doesn't matter if he gets past him or not. If he gets the opportunity at lightweight to get Islam again.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I think he deserves it, man. I'd like to see it.
All right. And then obviously the co-main event, we've got another title fight to look forward to in the flyweight division. And Don and I talked about this yesterday. When someone's had your number twice, as in Pantoja's beat Moreno twice, obviously a long time ago, how that sort of plays into your mindset.
You know, man, I love Alex. He's a solid guy up from the last camp, but if fucking Alex is right here in front of me, I could fight that man and give zero fucks. So I think it just comes down to mindset, and I think he has the mindset for that not to affect him. Now it just comes down, if you beat him twice, man, is he just better than you? You know, and there is that moment of, is he just better than you? So I wouldn't really put too much stock in I beat you twice, I beat you once. If you got the mind for it and you're ready to die for what you want, it don't matter.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And Don, talking about the flyweight divisions, I mean, you know, complete opposite end to the weight class that you fought at. But do you enjoy the lighter weight classes now? You know, I mean, the speed that's involved in their fights is quite something to watch.
They fight way harder than us.
Yeah, they're like little mosquitoes, you know, buzzing around. They're fun to watch. But, you know, you still think you just slap the shit out of them, you know, and they'd be done.
We had Chris Curtis
So
on the...
let me just say, I agree with you said, dude. But these little guys, man, here's the thing. It's like sock and bucking robots, you know? It's like watching like two fucking cats go at it. You just can't look away. These guys fight their ass off, man. They're fucking true champions. They do all the right things, man.
Things are about to get interesting. We've got Donnie's whiskey.
Oh, fuck, now I want some whiskey. I don't even drink. Give me the bottle.
Don't. I was talking to Chris Curtis yesterday as well, obviously teammate of yours, and we were talking about Val Woodbury stepping in late notice to fight Bo Nicola. Do you know Val personally as well?
Yeah, he's a nice enough guy. He's a little guy, but he's a nice enough guy. He's a guy that probably should be at 170, but he's gonna get shit done. Now, here's the thing about Val, man. That guy's down to scrap, man. That guy. Like, I've sparred that man, and there's some times where I'm like, I don't feel good for what I'm doing right now, but, you know, you're still standing, sir, so I salute you.
Yeah.
I think Bo Nickal can't fight. Bo Nickal, man, I mean, he's a wrestler. He threw a weird fucking head kick once. Like, I think Val, if he could just sack up for a little bit, weather the storm, and I think he can pull it off.
You think he can get it done?
Yeah, I don't think Bo Nickal fucking belongs here.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, Don, you watched Bo last time out as well, and we talked about Bo. Well, you know, we know the wrestling pedigree that he has.
Right.
I mean, at what point... There's more than obviously wrestling, and I'm sure he obviously trains very hard at all the different arts, but it's almost that age-old question about which martial arts is best, but how much is having a strong wrestling base going to take you through in MMA?
You know, I think that's the best foundation you can have in this business is a wrestling foundation. And, because, like I said, you're in the street fight for 2 or 3 hours a day, every day, you know, against some of the top guys. And if you buckle in there, you're not going to make it to the ring, you know?
Yeah. No, I hear you. Look, we've got a lot to look forward to tonight, and it's going to be kicking off in just a few hours. But I want to look ahead to some more upcoming fights. And we had the announcement yesterday. Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic, heavyweight fight will take place in New York. Did you know that had been announced?
Yeah, that's a great fight, man.
Yeah.
Jon Jones, man, as long as you don't let the man sip the powder and drive a car, he's the best in the world, you know? By the way, you guys, I'm never going to get invited back to this, ever.
Do you know what? There was some videos circulating on social media last night of Jon Jones having some shots at the bar, and everyone was like, oh no, don't let Jon loose in Las Vegas. We got to keep this man on track.
Well, the good thing is, man, when you make that kind of money, it's really easy to pay off settlements and hush-hush money, dude. So keep having a good time, Jon Jones. Don't worry, God loves you every now and then.
Who do you think takes that fight, though?
I got Jon Jones, man. Here's the thing about Jon Jones. The fucking guy can't drive a car without hitting on somebody, but the man can fight. Jon Jones is probably one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound. I think Jon Jones does what he needs to do.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your insights, and great to see you.
Yeah, you guys are awesome,
We'll
man.
let you go. You're going to
I gotta go say what's up here. Let's go. Hey, this fucking guy, man. This is the fucking guy right here. Makes me want to drink.
Thanks, Sean. All right. There he is, Sean Strickland. Looking very closely, like I said, at that fight tonight between Robert Whittaker and Dricus du Plessis. But going back to Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic, I mean, to be honest, when we saw Jones make his heavyweight debut against Cyril Gane, it was over so quickly. Yeah. We didn't really get to see that much of heavyweight Jon Jones, other than that he is very good and he got the job done. But do you think against Stipe we see a longer fight?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Stipe was a world champion.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't the longest reigning UFC heavyweight
considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. Yeah.
So it's not even a question as to how he's going to do against Jones. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Jones does against him.
Yeah.
You know, because Stipe's been a heavyweight. You know, he was a born heavyweight.
Yeah.
And Jon is making a move up. And like you said, he hasn't been tested. that last thing was such a joke.
You don't think that was a test?
No. Yeah, he got more of a workout walking from the locker room to the ring.
That's true, but look, like you said, with Stipe, he's going to come up against a lot tougher a test. And we were just speaking to Mark Coleman as well, and he knows Stipe very well, trains in the same gym, and he was feeling pretty confident about him as well, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, Mark's. They're both from Ohio, so can't figure that one out. It's a shame.
Well, talking of Mark Coleman, here he is, the man himself, first ever UFC heavyweight champion, Hall of Famer. The accolades go on and on. We're going to have you.
Is he in the middle?
All right.
There we go. Sorry, we're making you stand, but we want you in the middle.
I don't mind staying there.
You're all right. Take a seat there. So I was just saying, we were talking about Stipe Miocic, and obviously you knowing him very well, and how you feel he's going to fare against Jon Jones.
Well, like I said, if anybody can beat Jon Jones, it's Stipe Miocic. He's got all the tools and all the experience needed to beat a Jon Jones. He's not going to be intimidated by Jon Jones. All the big factors, but he lets me come up, and hopefully I'll get to work with him during this camp, because I feel I can bring a lot to the table as far as wrestling goes. And Jon Bones Jones is going to try to wrestle him. He's going to have to stop the takedown. So I feel he needs to do a lot of wrestling in practice, because he does not want to be down underneath Jon Bones Jones, and he's going to have to keep it on his feet, and I think he can knock him out if he can keep it on his feet. But Jon Jones he turned himself into he was an okay wrestler in the beginning. I wrestled him way back in UFC 100, and he was okay wrestler at best, but he's turned himself into a monster of a wrestler.
Yeah, and the thing with Jon Jones as well is, again, we talk about it with Anderson Silva and other fights, the creativity of Jon Jones. I mean, it's something to behold, really. One of the factors that makes him one of the best. But with Stipe, would you say Stipe's been out a while now? Yeah. And when I saw him back in March, he was a guest fighter here when Jones fought. He was looking big and he was looking strong. What's he looking like at the moment? Because like I say, he has been out a while.
I've always wanted Stipe to put on about 10 pounds myself. I always think size is so important, and he's done that. He's walking around at 250, 255, so he is a big, strong man, and I think he needed to do that to have a chance. That's why I'm giving him a chance against John Jones, because his size, they will be the same size, and the strength will be equal. That gives him a chance, and I like to. Well, obviously, he's going to have to work the cardio, make sure his cardio is on par. When you put on size like that, it can affect your cardio a little bit, but I think he'll be fine, and I think we're going to see a great fight.
All right, I know you've got a lot of respect for Stipe, what he does as a fireman and as a man in the community as well. You've got a lot of good things to say about Stipe.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Nah, yeah. Just being a fireman's a tough-ass job, and a lot of responsibility on it. And there's, I guess you can see a lot of bit of nurturing in that position. Yeah. But you got to separate yourself from that to be a fighter, to be a killer.
I know it's surprising someone of Stipe's position in this sport to still be having a job in the way that he does, and it's very admirable.
I personally, I'm good friends with the coach Marcus Marinelli, and I was putting in that Marcus, I'm saying, is there any way possible he can get like a couple month leave of absence? To me, it's crazy. To me, it's crazy to have to put in that kind of time, because I know what it takes to train, and I certainly don't want to go put out no fires after practice, but shows what an amazing man he is. But I personally hope that he will get himself a 2-month at least leave of absence and focus 100%, see what he can do.
Just for the mindset.
Just for the mindset, just see what he can do when he's all in on a fight.
Yeah, for a fight of this magnitude, you'd imagine that's something you're going to have to do. And but I want to look ahead to another fight, UFC London heavyweight title fight, again, between Tom Aspinall and Marcin Tybura. And Tom Aspinall, my sort of fellow Englishman, is one of those kind of like new breeds of heavyweights. They kind of move like a light heavyweight. And have you had a chance to watch much of Tom?
Well, I got to... I went to UK last year for an appearance, and he was young. Tom Aspinall was there, and he was getting taken advantage of by all these promoters. He was in signing. They literally had 1,000 pair of gloves sitting in his locker room. He's sitting there signing away. I'm like, did they pay you for this? He's like, oh, no, not really. I'm like, well, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? But I befriended him, and right away I went all in on him, telling him he needs to bring in some very big, strong wrestlers. They're hard to find, but he needs, you're going to go up against John Bones Jones, you're going to have to go up against a guy that can wrestle. And there's just not many people out there that can do it. So he needs to fly somebody in and pay him to live there and train with him daily.
You know what, though? I've got a feeling John Jones will probably be on his way by the time maybe Tom gets a chance to fight for that title. I mean, I don't think Tom's too far off. He blew out his knee.
Don't matter. They're all wrestlers now.
Yeah. Tom blew out his knee a year ago in London, headlined the card. I mean, it happened almost immediately. So he's coming back after that injury. That's something else to get. You talk about mindset. That's something else to get your head around, isn't it? When you've had such a significant injury like that, to then be headlining again in the exact same arena where it happened. I mean, is that going to play with your mind a little bit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You just you don't know which one to favor. You don't want to over favor the other one to where it blows out. You know. Yeah. And you can't oversimplify a situation like that. Yeah. You know, you fuck it up really easy. But
it probably depends on how well his rehab went. If he's I had ACL surgery, my first big surgery ever in my life, and very scary for the first 2 or 3 months. But once you got the confidence back, for me personally, I wasn't worried about the knee. I just was worried about, did I train hard enough? I was worried about the whole fight, not just my knee, but it's definitely going to play mind games with him being in the same arena. He'll be thinking about the knee. You think about it for a long time till you get over it.
Talking of horrific injuries, Chris Weidman's going to be back fighting shortly as well. And after that horrendous leg break snap that he experienced back in Jacksonville. I mean, he's getting ready to fight in a couple of months as well. I mean, we saw Anderson Silva come back and do it after he snapped his leg, but I don't know if I'm going to want to watch Chris throw a leg kick personally. I think I'll be hiding behind my hands for that one. I mean, it's tough, right?
He better work on his takedowns.
Well,
hire Mark to work on takedowns.
We know Chris is a good
he can
wrestler.
wrestle.
Yeah.
But I hear his game plan is to come right out and fire that leg kick right away. That's what I've been hearing. But everybody heals differently. Anderson Silva came right back. Obviously, Chris had some problems with it. Now, this injury, I'm sure it's going to take a long, long time to get over that kind of fear right there. But it's been a long time. I think he plans on coming right out and throwing a kick. And I think once he does throw a kick, fight's on, man.
Yeah.
You ain't got too much. You ain't got time to worry about your leg after the fight starts.
I was going to say it's a metal leg now as well, so probably even more powerful. But another fight coming up that I want to talk to you both about in Salt Lake City, UFC 291. We've got the BMF title on the line between Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier. Obviously, they fought once before, but with that belt being vacated, if you like, with Masvidal retiring, the BMF belt's on the line. Firstly, what do you think of that idea of having a baddest mother effer belt to compete for? Does it mean something, do you think?
I think it's funny. You know, it's a fun title, and it's for guys who aren't going to get the opportunity to fight for the real world heavyweight championship.
Oh, they might.
So,
You feel they've had their chance?
Yeah, they had their opportunity and they didn't fulfill it, and but they're still good enough to bring people in, sell tickets, you know, and make an interesting fight. You know, they just can't beat the champion. But so they can. That's a great title, and I think it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I think my opinion of a BMF title would be the last one, Diaz and Masvidal, but these two guys, they seem like two good guys. Their personalities, but when it comes to war, this will be a bad BMF title. These two guys, they are what the fans dream of in a fighter. It's like Don Frye and Takayama. You know, two guys willing to stand there and find out which one's going down. So somebody's going to have to go down in that one.
Yeah. And obviously it's the altitude as well in Salt Lake, and we saw the impact that had on Leon Edwards against Kamaru Usman. I mean, he got it done with the head kick at the end, but he said he was so tired, and Luke Rockhold and Paulo Costa as well during that fight when we were last in Salt Lake. Have you fought at altitude and experienced that yourself?
No, I don't think so. They locked up all the high places when we were fighting.
Yeah, the high places weren't around, but no, I got to deal with that in wrestling, and I think it's more mental than physical, but I could be wrong because it was both, you know what I mean? But mentally, it was constantly on my mind, and you're thinking about it so much. You're flying to Colorado Springs for the Olympic Training Center, and you're walking up the stairs to get in your hotel room, and you catch yourself breathing real hard. So mentally, it just really messes you up. But physically, I guess it's a factor, but I don't know enough about it.
Not too much to get concerned about. Look, I've got to let you go, but it's great to talk to you again. We all had a great time on the main stage there, talking about 30 years of the UFC and reliving some of your great moments. Great to have both of you together again as well. I know there's a good respect and friendship there, so it's an honor to talk to you. Thank you so much, and we'll let you go.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Not behind you, man.
Yeah, don't step back. Else we'll lose Mark off the back there. There he is, the legend himself, Mark Coleman. But yeah, a lot of exciting fights coming up, Don. And another one I want to touch on is another title fight. Aljamain Sterling is going to be facing Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean O'Malley. And one thing that's noticeable for me with this fight is that Aljo wanted to take a bit more time after the last fight with Henry Cejudo. He wanted to take a bit more time, and in some ways he feels a little bit forced into fighting again quite soon. It's going to be in Boston. And Sugar Sean is you know, this young, incredible talent. What do you feel when you are the champion? Some get given a long time, you know, months and months. Leon Edwards hasn't fought for months now. We don't know when he'll next fight before he defends the title. Others fight multiple times in the year, Izzy, Volk, etc. How much say do you get as a champion as
How
to
much what?
how much say or involvement you have as to when you're going to defend that belt again, or how much rest you need, or you just got to go?
It's up to the promoter.
Yeah. Yeah.
He tells you you're going to fight, you get your ass in shape and fight.
Pardon?
If he tells you you're going to fight,
Yeah.
such a date, you get your ass in shape and fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not up to you.
Okay.
The promoter runs everything. It's like the fans. These are my bosses.
Yeah.
When I was fighting, and the promoter's the boss also. So if you tell the promoter to fuck off, you're basically telling the fans to.
That's an interesting perspective. Yeah, that's an interesting perspective on it. And, but like I said, we do get some fighters like Israel Adesanya and Volkanovski. They're so active as champions. Do you admire that? Whoever's next, they're like, I'm ready for whoever's next.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in this sport, you've got in all sports, you're an athlete, you have a small window of opportunity.
Yeah.
This sport, you have a very, very small window of opportunity. And it can be gone like that. So these guys are smart when they take advantage of it and just keep fighting.
Yeah.
What they got to do is if they get hurt, they need to take time off.
Yeah.
That's
being
where I
hurt's
screwed
different.
up.
Yeah, being hurt's different.
Yeah, I screwed up because I'd work through it, fight through it, and it didn't help me out. Doesn't make it a long career when you're doing that.
I mean, that is the difference with fighting, the injuries you sustain. I know, I was a track and field athlete, and when it came to the individual events, like long jump and hurdles were my individual events, and I'd compete every weekend through the summer. Right. But then when I did a heptathlon, which was the 7 track and field events that you do over 2 days, I'd only do about 4 of those a year. Because to compete for 2 days solid across all those disciplines, you do get injured, you do get hurt, mentally you're fatigued. So
it takes a while to recover too.
It takes a long time to recover. So no, I really respect those champions that fight so often, but I sometimes feel that a lot of them get that pressure placed upon their shoulders to do so. It's almost like you got the target on your back. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, as they say, when you're the champion, and there's a lot to deal with, right?
Well, yeah, when we were fighting in Pride, it was every 3 or 4 months, and it takes 2 weeks to recover from a fight if you don't get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, just psychologically, to get back into the real world, and get out of that mindset of training, and become a person again.
Yeah. Your family and the people that want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fans sometimes forget that. You see your favorite fighters fight, and then hand raised or not, they go off backstage and you move on with your life, and something that's always surprising to me is, we see them in the hotel the next morning having breakfast before they fly thousands of miles back to wherever they came from, bruises, battered, limping, and I think it's almost like you're a bit forgotten for a second until that next fight's announced. It's a tough old life that you fighters choose to live, but I'm sure hugely rewarding when you get the wins, huh?
Yeah, it's rewarding just doing the sport. I mean, just say, hey, I'm a pro fighter, or I'm a professional prize fighter.
Yeah.
That's the very minute amount of people on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people can actually claim that and say, I'm a real one, not a backyard, prize fighter. But
I think a lot of people think they can, but there's only a few that have done it.
You don't know until you get punched in the nose.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's interesting you say that as well, because even years since retiring, do you still feel your identity is as a fighter? I still feel my identity is as an athlete.
Yeah.
Do you still feel like, as you walk around now, you're like, I'm still that fighter?
Yeah, oh yeah. I look in the mirror and go, oh God, what happened?
But
who the hell is that guy? What happened to Don?
No. Look, I think if anyone messed with you here, I think they'd know about it. So I'm not worried about that for 1 minute. But look, Don, this has been a great couple of days for us here on Tea on Whiskey, just talking about all things coming up fight related as well as entertaining and shooting the with all different topics. So always a pleasure to be in your company.
Thank you.
We'll be back with another show very soon. Of course, we're looking forward to UFC 290 here in Las Vegas tonight. That's it from myself, Caroline Pearce, the Predator, Don Frye.
Thank you, Dirk.
We'll see you next time.